To all the daughters of Ponniyin Selvan, I wanted to say,
அப்பா எவ்வளவு கூட்டம் இன்னைக்கு கலெக்ஷன் எகிரி
I apologize that I could not produce the trailer review as soon as possible, as several developments both in the news and in my personal life told me to take a step back and assess the film and its trailer when the noise dies down. In a country that has expanded upon various dynasties across Indian history, from the Rajput and Maratha kingdoms to even some of the reigns of the Mughal Empire, it comes as a breath of fresh air, especially for those who are history buffs, that the Chola kingdom is being expanded upon through a two-part film directed by Mani Ratnam titled Ponniyin Selvan. As I have told you with the teaser review of the film, I've been absolutely obsessed with the written material of this world. The English translation by C.V. Karthik Narayanan and the audiobook that has been beautifully narrated by Amit Bhargav, which is available on Spotify. I often wonder that if I have this childlike wonder and obsession with the politics and characters of Ponniyin Selvan, how Tamil literary enthusiasts and film fans must be feeling, as the subject matter is so deeply rooted in most of your childhood and culture. The noise that I desperately wanted to dissipate is the constant notion that there is no OP or wow moment from the trailer. And to those who are anticipating a war period epic, I just wanted to caution and remind all of you that Ponniyin Selvan is not that, but a period drama that is vivid and has persevered through the test of time as an epic because of its characters and the turn of events that follow as individuals and their vested interests for ultimate power and the throne get explored. There were so many of you that communicated the deep personal connection you have in the subject matter in the teaser review, that I totally understand why you may be getting uncomfortable or cringing at the dismissive attitude of most people on formats like Twitter just on the basis of the visuals that they saw. For those of you who want to understand what this film is about without giving its key plot points away, where I feel the criticism is justified, and what I absolutely love about this epic venture, I thought of giving you an in-depth analysis rather than just being flippant about an effort that needs to be appreciated and, more importantly, understood. The film looks at the illustrious Chola kingdom and the vast influence that it had in the southern part of India, expanding to countries like Sri Lanka, Maldives and Southeast Asia. An aging Sundara Chola, played by Prakash Raj, is at the throne, and everyone has their eyes on the influential dynasty and the power that comes with that position. The biggest threat being the rising Pandyas, who want nothing but the decimation of the Chola Empire. The film's narrator, or who guides the story along, is Vandyadevan, played by Karthi, the prince of the Vanar clan that is extremely smart and has immense pride in his stature and ability. He is basically the eyes and ears of understanding the threats against the Chola kingdom. The three children of the Chola kingdom are played by Vikram, Trisha and Jayam Ravi, and the big surprise being the role of Nandini, played by Aishwarya Rai, and her past history with Aditya Karikalan and how it ties into her motivations in the current timeline. I got the premise out of the way that I discussed with you in the teaser review. Now let's get to the criticism first. The frames of battle. Many people have defended the visuals of the film, especially the long drawn out battles showcased in the teaser and trailer, to essentially capture the raw nature of the period rather than contribute a VFX heavy landscape. The criticism, however, comes from past experiences with films set in Indian history, where one puts the connotation of epic battles, expands on say movies like Bajirao Mastani and Padmavat, one is immediately drawn into those majestic frames, while certain frames of the film's trailer and vast elements it aims to capture do look clunky in comparison. I again want to reiterate that Ponniyin Selvan is barely about physical warfare and more to do with the psychological battles that ensue in and around the kingdom. So don't expect a war-heavy film, and I hope the marketing team of the film doesn't double down on creating this notion of what audiences will tune in for, because this film is essentially the dynamics of the Game of Thrones that constantly change. The physical altercations become secondary as one is more interested in the constantly changing psychological and political dynamics. The color palette. Just like the teaser, I do feel that a darker visual palette for the film would have worked and suited better the tone and theme of the film, especially when you put into context the motivations of several characters. The color grading, if incorporated a more rustic feel, I referenced this Twitter account in the teaser review as well, that showcased a DI could have vastly changed the look of the film and removed this faded filter that the visuals showcase. I exactly know that the strength of the film's content is its storyline, but the criticism is fully justified, as a darker tone would have worked better rather than these bright faded frames. Now let's just get to what I absolutely love about this movie. setup, and characters. One needs to understand that the motive of the trailer was to make sure you are geared up for the vast nature of characters you're going to get introduced to, and more importantly, how every element on the chessboard is a key contributor to the progression of events. Many people thought that the trailer was monotonous, but I genuinely feel it did the job really well, as those who are not privy to the subject matter need to know the key players in the premise. This essentially familiarizes you with the characters and their personalities, and further expands on their relationships, leaving you with one of the most jaw-dropping origin stories and climax sequences that will further pique the interest of part 2. What I loved about the trailer as well was the voiceover by Kamal Hassan, providing the much needed gravitas associated with the scale and vision of the film. I wish Amitabh Bachchan contributed his voice for the Hindi dub, as he did so brilliantly with films like Lagan, but Anil Kapoor did a fair job in the Hindi version. The music. I think what will make this an even more riveting experience as it releases on 30th September is the music contributed by A.R. Rahman. I have been listening to singles like Chola Chola, which I assume is going to be showcased during the war conquest of Aditya Karikalan and Vandya Vedan, and my personal favourite Ponni Nadi, which is probably going to capture Vandya Devan's observation as he embarks upon a journey on horseback. I have been trying to visualize how the sequences of the music will be integrated in its screenplay. I have to say that a key element that will lend to the epicness that one denotes to this storyline has to be A.R. Rahman. The last few seconds of the trailer as the character of Nandini looks at the throne did give me goosebumps, and I'm sure it did for those who really know the story well. Source material pressure. It is an absolutely monumental task for Mani Ratnam to condense this epic into a 2-part film. But audiences expect the prime Mani Ratnam to return with this film, as he's always dreamt of making this movie. A creator known for the depth of his characters, the visuals and grandeur are nothing but secondary, as people know that Ratnam will, with great skill, invest you emotionally with his characters. Would this film do complete justice to its source material if it was a full-fledged series like House of Dragon? Probably. But you know, the medium of films resonate far better, and the fact that MGR and Mani Ratnam have tried to make this film in different decades and have failed, I'm sure their vision of how it materializes on the big screen makes sense from a screenplay point of view, rather than being a rudimentary cliff notes of a subject that won't impact the masses. They are too experienced of filmmakers to produce a product of that nature, especially in regards to something so dear and rooted for the people of Tamil Nadu. As I am with most films, this movie makes me cautiously optimistic, and I hope the word of mouth in the Hindi-speaking belts does the much-needed marketing for the film, if of course it is everything and more that one could wish for from a period drama so interesting and captivating. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what are your honest thoughts about the trailer. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.